So Mike, thank you so much for joining me.
Good to be here.
As you can see, we're doing things a little differently. You're not really in person, but in person. And Roelf, thank you for your time. It's an interesting partnership that you've just embarked on. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about it?
So Unipart have been in discussions with McCulloch Rail for some time, probably the last 18 months now, looking at how we can collectively collaborate to represent their technologies with the international rail markets. McCulloch Rail were established in 1992, and their core business is actually deploying railworks in the UK marketplace across to create themselves a strong and unique position. Is they've developed their own equipment solutions that have enabled them to differentiate themselves from their competition, be able to undertake the rail track works more efficiently, at lower cost, low manpower, and with more agility than they would have done with more conventional methods. So this has really given them a unique position in the UK marketplace. And whilst that is still their core strategy within the UK is to preserve that railworks activity, what they recognise is those unique equipments could be marketed internationally, where it wouldn't obviously cannibalise their UK business, but at the same time provide the benefits on an international basis to customer bases across the world. So we're not talking track works and recovery works, and what their equipment does allows them to do it much safer, more cost effective and efficient. So those technologies have been used for 15 years within their operations, so they've been designed and developed to do the job that they need to do. And as a consequence of that, McCulloch have evolved the equipment to be very effective. But in terms of using for their own benefit, great, that allows them to preserve and grow their business in the UK, which has been very successful. But what if we took this proposition to the marketplace? What if we gave other customers across the globe the same access to those technologies to enable them to do their activities more efficiently and more cost effectively? So as a consequence of that really started the conversation between Unipart Rail and McCulloch. Their appetite is obviously revenue, it's everyone's appetite to some extent, but also in very many different territories successfully and to the benefit of the wider customer base. So we've seen how successful it's in the UK. Why don't we take advantage of it across the world?
Fantastic. So just give me an overview of the type of equipment that is involved.
Okay, so McCulloch has designed a few pieces of equipment. I'd say the lower cost, highest volume one is a track rail transposer, which is a very versatile piece of equipment. It's essentially a power pack on a frame that runs on Caterpillar tracks with a very good lift capability for its compact size. Used in tandem, two machines, 3 machines at a time, it can lift and move significant pieces of rail and equipment very, very quickly. Accessories to the TRT enable to carry out different tasks over and above the core lift capability. So, on the rail side, the crane enables it to lift equipment from rail side onto supporting trailers and the like. It has hydraulic connectors that enable you to actually use various different equipment such as rail saws and the like, and jackhammers and the like. So it essentially is a power pack that can be taken to the task, and then with these accessories, the actual capability of the machines can be expanded significantly. So that's the TRT. Then we have the panel lifter and the flask, which are variations on a similar theme, but these are essentially much bigger items on the same concept, but have the brute force to do bigger pieces of work, to lift panels of railway in one lift, to be able to move and shift sleepers to the location in a very uniform manner that reduces rework and snagging. Then bigger variations on the same theme. And then we have a more recent development, which is the McCulloch multi-purpose vehicle, which is actually a rail-borne platform, a 40-foot platform that's powered, that's rail-borne, has its own propulsion, but has that flexibility to put any equipment, any attachment onto the bed of that vehicle and use it in any operation. The unique aspect of the MMPV is that it can actually mount itself and demount from the track itself. So it kind of like a crab, it'll move itself across onto the track and then off again, which in trackworks is actually unique because it enables it to be able to move itself to the job and off the job without having to travel down the track to get to the job in the first place, which makes it much quicker. And because it's such a big platform with a lot of power, the opportunities are to use it for graffiti cleaning or tunnel cleaning or as a working platform under a tunnel. It really is versatile. So those are the four major pieces of equipment that McCulloch have got. But I suppose more importantly is recognising it's not just as pieces of equipment, but actually transformative methods of carrying out the work. And that's essentially what the proposition is, working together with Unipart and with our partners in territory, so in this case GEAR, to actually develop a better way of working, a safer way of working, much more cost-effective way of working to the customer.
And obviously the value add to the supply chain, the manufacturing and engineering capability, that this then adds value to the Unipart globally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's McCulloch have designed and built this gear for themselves so far, and they don't have. So we're partnering with Unipart Rail enables us to actually mobilise a much bigger supply chain, much greater manufacturing capability to scale up, but also to provide the service wraparound, to be able to provide service not just for the acquisition of the equipment, but also in service on an ongoing basis throughout the life cycle. So working with GEAR, give the customer the best solution, but also provide them with a life cycle support package to ensure that equipment is fully optimised and give them everything they need it to do. At the same time, enable us to develop the equipment for particular territorial challenges that may arise, whether it be sand in the Middle East, in Africa maybe, or snow in Scandinavia and northern parts of the US and Canada. So it's a collection of different skills between McCulloch Rail's ingenuity, our engineering skills, with the supply chain, with our manufacturing capability. It enables us to scale up, to be able to deliver the proposition to the customer in scale wherever they are in the world.
Now, Unipart Rail and GEAR Rail have had a long-standing relationship. When did that begin?
Similarly, but longer. Unipart and GEAR have been talking and have been engaged with for a number of years. I would suggest it probably started 2-4 years ago, I think, Roelf?
Yep, that's correct. Correct, Mike.
Yeah, and much more intimately over the last 18 months to maximise our opportunities to help the African market with the skills that we can bring, coupled with the competence that GEAR can bring.
And do you see large opportunity in the African market?
Huge opportunity. Railworks internationally are pretty universal. You've got a lay track, you've got ballast to consider. It needs to be maintained and renewed periodically. They do wear out. So wherever you go in the world, wherever there's a rail track, you've got the common requirements. In the same as this has been proven in the UK, in Africa more so, the dependency on the rail network because of the distances involved is absolutely critical, and being able to deploy maintenance and replacement and installation solutions capably and quickly is critical.
Fantastic, thank you so much, Mike. So Roelf, GEAR Rail has been around for a long time, so let's just do a little introduction on GEAR Rail and then we can move into the relationship with Unipart Rail.
So GEAR Rail started off initially specialising in train control and safety solutions within the African continent. Because we're proudly South African, we have 2 black economic empowerment level, and we started building up to service a lot of customers throughout Africa. And slowly over the past 15 years we've started developing the presence, working in different countries like Mozambique, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Gabon, expanding the solution. We've also been diversifying our offering and starting to unlock value for the African railways. And what we've done is to form a partnership with the unique skills and offering of Unipart Rail to bring their unique products to the African market as well, to unlock a lot of value and efficiency.
And how are you finding that? I mean,
We're very excited about it. Unipart and ourselves have been working closely for the past 2 years, and we're busy expanding on the market, we're busy diversifying. We've already got, Unipart has got a huge range of unique products. What we like is to bring a lot of value-added, unique selling products and solutions to the African market, the railway market. And we've started selling a lot of the other products of Unipart throughout our different customer bases to make sure we address their immediate requirements. And the latest edition of McCulloch is, we're really thrilled and excited about that, to also bring that proposition to Africa.
And are you seeing any particular products in that range that will be beneficial for the African market?
Yeah, I think definitely. What we like about what McCulloch has done is they've figured out a way to do rail construction and rail maintenance in a way more efficient way. When you go out on the track, especially in Africa, it's very difficult to get access onto the track side, and the equipment we've got, like the TRT from McCulloch, is absolutely unique to be very efficient in terms of lifting equipment, to performing the maintenance. So the occupations you have in the by not utilizing the track or having the track outside commission is much shorter in terms of fixing the problem and getting it back in service again. And those are unique value-added service offerings that McCulloch has developed, that we are able to take out to the African market and give those benefits to the African market as well.
And lead times in terms of getting, from the time a contract is signed to getting the product here, is the lead time quite big, or are you?
No, we're working on that, and that's the benefit we have as Gear, is to be a local partner. Customers want to deal with localization. They want to make sure that the equipment is maintained immediately if there's any problems with the equipment. And therefore the lead times we bringing equipment into Africa, it will be shorter lead times. We're looking at different models of servicing and providing the equipment to the customers out there. And Gear provides that full localized service offering in terms of maintenance, support and equipment with McCulloch. So we are able to support our customers throughout Africa on a 24/7 basis. And because Unipart is very unique in the supply chain, we make sure that we satisfy our customer requirements in terms of lead times into Africa as well.
What other partnerships have you embarked on?
With Unipart itself, we've also got Instrumentel inside Unipart that we've been expanding. So Instrumentel specializes in condition monitoring. So what we like to do is when Gear's drive is to assist customers unlocking value through condition monitoring and efficiency. And therefore Instrumentel helps us to look at the condition monitoring side. McCulloch helps us to improve the overall efficiency of the rail construction. Inside Unipart we also have a very unique spare parts offering. For example, the latest trend is to almost use turbos on locomotives on a swap out basis.
Yes.
So you don't own it, you kind of swap it out, you rent it, you fix it, you send it back. And with our supply chain efficiency capability, we are able to offer that service into Africa as well. So it's a whole range of products that we are busy targeting to different customers. Different customers have different needs. Two key things for us is looking and ensuring rolling stock availability and ensuring track availability and maintenance. And that's the great thing with Unipart and McCulloch is we get to make sure we look after the locomotives, we look after the fleet, we make sure that the supply chain is simplified and we manage that very closely. And with McCulloch we make sure that the track is always available to operate on.
And then as Gear Rail, what kind of projects are you working on at the moment? Have you just finished anything?
What we're working on now is McCulloch.
Yeah.
We're in discussions on bringing our first equipment into Africa.
Oh wow!
And we'll most probably be into Gabon. And we're very excited about that. We're also busy with installing a train control solution in Gabon.
Oh wow! Okay.
And that's very exciting with CETRAC. And we've also supporting and started a long-term maintenance contract for the railways up in Mozambique. It's also very exciting for us to expand.
Oh, well done. Why do you keep this all to yourself?
Thank you.
So I wish you guys the best of luck. It's very exciting. And take a picture when it gets to Gabon for me.
We will, for sure, definitely. Thank you so much.